So real quick, reminder to speak into the mic. That's why we got these green scans in front of you now. So that way you can be heard both online. We will have multiple folks online and in person. So please speak into the mic to be heard.
Okay. Well, regular meeting of the planning commission order, Wednesday, August 7th. Call to order. I mean, roll call.
Commissioner Wright,
Here.
Commissioner Beard. Here. Chair Rath,
Here.
and Commissioner Oski.
Here. Yeah.
The United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion with the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as it stands.
I'll second it. Aye. Aye. Okay, so any comments or issues? Correspondence?
And we run.
I see we have here tonight, Mayor. Mayor, Colin Longbreak and Councilman Campbell. Thank you for coming. Okay.
Real quick, can we turn the mic up? I don't think anybody.
Well, they're cutting in and out. They're turned off. That's what I was telling you. The batteries are low, so they're all turned up.
Is the microphone on? Is that back?
Yes, they're on. If you tap on them, you can hear them on there, but just not. Okay. But when you're talking to them, they're not picking it up very well. And I called Dan, he said it's the battery issue.
On now? That's okay. Two steps. Well, okay, we, have excused absence for Councilman, Commissioner Dressler and Bob. So, motion?
I'll make the motion.
Oh, second. Yeah, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Public appearance, persons wishing to address the commission on subject other than those scheduled or requested to do so at this time. Called by the chair, please announce your name and address for the record. In order to conduct a timely meeting and 3 minute time limit, the person has been established by the respective 2-18. Ethics in California Government Code Section 54950. Prohibits commissioners from taking action on specific items whether it's on the agenda. Okay. Public hearing. Short item. Public hearing notice to consider all evidence of testimony for or against PC Resolution 08-07-2024.PC, approving a special use permit to establish a 1,200 square foot Pacific Clinic Social Center within the Needles Town Center located at 1060 East Broadway Street within the general commercial C2 zoning district, also known as APS 0186-222-09. The staff report.
Good evening, Chairman and Planning Commissioners. My name is Ivy Romero, and today I will be presenting the Pacific Clinic Social Support Center, the project before you. Question
Yes.
is the next
Apparently all the mics are on. Like, the thing is, they can't. They're
Yeah, if you tap on them, you can hear it over here. If they're going in and out. Well, that one, the battery's really low.
It's there.
Resolution 08-07-0224-PC, a resolution approving a special use permit for a new 1,200 square foot social support center located at 1060 East Broadway Street. Next slide. The applicant, Pacific Clinics, is requesting that the Planning Commission review and approve a special use permit to establish a 1,200 square foot social support center. Next slide, please. This is the vicinity map. The project site, again, is located at 1060 East Broadway Street within the existing Vito's Town Shopping Center. As shown on the map, it is on the the southeast corner of East Broadway Street and Ice Plant Road. The project site is within the general commercial zoning district, which is C2, which allows for social centers or similar uses with the approval of a special use permit. Next slide, please. Here we have an aerial view of the project site. Property owners within 300 feet of the project site have been noticed. Staff did not receive any public comments regarding the proposed project. Next slide. Here we have an aerial view of the center project. The proposed project unit is 500 square feet, located on the southeast corner of the property center. Next slide. This is a site plan showing the layout of the existing shopping center. The surrounding uses consist of commercial retail, food establishments, and government services, including the San Bernardino County Transitional Assistance Department and the Department of Motor Vehicles. Access to the project site will be provided by 3 existing driveways located on the north and west side of the shopping center. Next slide. Here we have a site photo looking south at the front entrance of the project location. Next slide. This is another site photo. This view is looking at the southeast corner of the project location. For reference, the DMV is located just north of Arrow. Next slide. Pacific Clinics is a California nonprofit public benefit corporation that provides mental health services statewide and is contracted by the San Bernardino County Department of Behavioral Health. Founded in 1867, Pacific Clinic operates over 58 office locations across 5 Southern California counties.
May I interrupt for a moment? Is the background in the package?
Yes. But this is just, the background is just on the slide. With details.
That is not in the package, correct?
Correct. This is not just on the slide, but there are details in the staff report.
Thank you.
Welcome. Next slide. Here we have a proposed floor plan. Members will have access to a computer lab, a phone, and a printer. Recreational activities such as a pool table, arts and craft, and television will also be available on site. Next slide. On-site support will include support groups for grief and loss and mental health recovery. The site will offer workshops on resume building, job interviews, job training, and education on mental health topics. Next slide. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt resolution 08-07-2024-PC and approve special use permit for a 1,200 square feet social support center and direct staff to file a notice of exemption. It should be noted for the record that the staff report packet had a photo of a DMV sign on page 5, which was mistakenly included in the packet and not part of the file. In addition, a memo was submitted requesting the Planning Commission consider a modification to 2 conditions of approvals for this special use permit application. And those modifications were for condition number 5 and also number 12. It is noted on the memo too. This concludes my presentation. The staff as well as applicant are available to answer any questions that you may have.
I have a question. On the conditional approval number 12, it talks about the addition of beds, showers, and laundry room. Currently, there's not any beds, showers, or laundry rooms proposed, correct?
That is correct. That is
Thank you.
Since we had this project presented to us before in great detail at a different location at Rio Garces, okay? The addition of the beds, showers, and laundry room were a big issue then. And the way that you have revised this is not that they won't be allowed, which implies they would be allowed. They just have to come back to the planning commission if they decide they want showers, laundry rooms, beds. Is that correct?
Any modification to the proposed project would have to go through you again.
Okay, but here you're suggesting any proposed revisions to the approved project, including but not limited to the showers, the beds, the laundry rooms, okay? Why did you bring those three things up?
Because those are items that were proposed on the last floor plan when this project came up for approval. So I wanted to make sure that the applicant was aware that those items were not part of this proposal.
And you don't think this implies the planning commission would likely approve it if they came back?
They would have to submit a new application, amendment to their existing approval, which would be up for review and determinations.
It would be approved by the city first. Right, that they had the adequate space on this office space they have. They have adequate space for whatever they would propose, the laundry rooms, showers, the beds, whatnot. That met whatever conditions we have for layouts for this kind of space in our codes. So the city would approve it first before it came to the people, in other words, okay?
Mr. Chair, but may I? Real quick, so Pacific Clinic's floor plan that was submitted to you, this is what's being approved tonight. So any amendments to this floor plan, the city does not have the authorization to amend this because it's, the type of approval that's required is a special use permit. So over the counter changes that can be done by city staff need to be for administrative zoning permits, which this is not the case. So to answer your question, Commissioner, basically this would have to come in front of you. Any amendments to this site plan would have to come to the board for approval. We're not saying whether or not you would approve it or not, but we would, well, the process itself would require it to come back to you for approval.
Patrick, then, can we go one step further? Would we be allowed to, in our approval, prohibit the, beds, showers, laundry rooms, and cooking facilities? In our approval?
Well, what I would do is ask the applicant whether they're gonna do that or not, and then we can go down that conversation, because the applicant is here, and so we could ask them directly whether they would like that or not, so before we go down a spiral, I would request that we get the applicant to come up and tell us that those are the things that they'd like. It's not part of their submittal, and it hasn't been discussed with staff as of yet, and so this would be out of left field, so to speak, for us. So, so none of that is part of this application. And so the only reason it was brought up is it was brought up prior. As you're aware, since we are talking about the past, there was work that was done in the unit prior, without permits and all those different things. But that's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is a 1,200 square foot unit over on the east side of town, Atlas Properties. Any of that work would not only require permission from the board, it would also need to get a building permit to have that kind of work done.
The reason I'm asking the question is those items, if they weren't prohibited, it could be a dwelling unit, essentially, with those items in there, be a dwelling. Cooking
Correct.
facilities,
Correct.
laundry,
So we would look at all that.
beds, showers, and we're not looking to create that, right?
And that was the intent of the revision to the condition of approval, just to make it clear that none of those items are part of this approval, which would require them to submit an amendment to their approval and then go before the board again.
So either we can add cooking facilities to that list that item 12, or state that those items are prohibited. But you're saying that we shouldn't state that they're prohibited. We should just include them as they have to come back to us.
It's generally the same, it's chicken before the egg. So I mean, honestly, so let's see if anything that the applicant would even like. At this point in time, this is the only thing that's been submitted to the city. And this is the only thing we have in front of you for approval. And so we didn't leave the convoluted with those requirements, but we just wanted to make sure it was clear the last time around.
I just had a clarification. Can you state the address of this property?
1060 East Broadway.
Okay, just for clarification and to make sure, because this is a legal document, the handwritten application for use permit has 1004 East Broadway, unit 1060. What is it?
Discuss that with the applicant and bring that
I just wanted to point that out. Because it is a legal document.
And I don't have a copy of
If
the,
there's any issue down the road.
I didn't put my own.
I do have a copy if you guys like.
I was confused on the application for the permit. I was out of town, so I might glanced at it rather quickly. Do we have approval of the owner of Neal's Town Center as the owner of the property and approval of the tenant, which is specific?
Yes,
Two different people.
Correct. And you have permission from the property owner, and what they did sign an authorization and it was notarized.
Okay,
And
so,
the ownership was double checked on the state secretary website to confirm that.
okay, so who is the owner of the property?
The owner of the property,
Natasha Rod. I can't read, that's the print, Rodwan. Foothill Cedar Holdings, Inc., that's who owns Neal's Town Center.
the owner is listed as Foothill Cedar Holdings, in which Natasha is an agent to authorize to sign on behalf.
It says, okay, what? It says as owner of the property, I, Natasha Rodwan.
Yes, she is an authorized agent to sign on behalf of them.
Okay, so that's the owner of Neal Town Center. Right, okay, so where is the signature of the applicant, Pacific Plains?
That is not
Who would be the tenant who was applying for the permit?
correct. It is listed as Pacific Clinics, but there's no signature. But that is something that we can take a look at our application to include that for future.
There has always been a requirement that the applicant sign the application. And just to make sure we're covered liability wise, we have the owner that owns the real estate and the prop person that's actually the tenant, Pacific. We have both signed, owner, capacity, owner, lessee, agent, other, okay? So there's places for these people to sign. There is no signature under lessee. We represent them, but just Natasha that owns the U.S. Town Center.
Understood. We will take a look at the documentation that we do have and revise it.
Yeah, we've done this document before and it's been revised. And we did this a year ago or 2 years ago.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Thank you. And so then when we look into it, assuming I'm correct, we need, and I'm telling you I am correct, we need the lessee's signature to show that they have an agreement with the owner of the property to go in there. They have permission from the owner. They're not just, some homeless person walking in there and taking over, okay? The owner has signed, they have to sign. Normally, we get a copy of the lease agreement. Okay, I don't know if we are far enough along in your process in the city. If you're just getting the permit to go ahead, are we ready for a lease agreement or we get permission to they get permission to get let in there? So when we get a lease agreement, the city gets a copy of that lease agreement that the planning commission gets a copy of on the packet. There's no lease agreement with the owner. Okay, so I need both, we need both. The city, I think Kathy already knows all this stuff, so I'm requesting a copy of a signature that whoever is applying for the permit, the application, the applicant is Pacific Clinics. Whoever is authorized under Pacific Clinics to make this application, I would like them to complete this form, and I need a copy of the lease. I meaning as a commissioner. Okay?
Understood.
If there's a problem, then Patrick, you can contact me or anything.
Second,
This is something we do all the time. Let's take this from both.
One, the listening here shows the applicant comments after the public hearing. Should we come to the applicant comment prior?
it's up to the chair.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
I have other questions. I'm looking for the page talked about the services provided. And it sounded fairly comprehensive. I'm just wondering if the staff, two staff members, it claims only two staff members there. Are they licensed? Are they LCSWs or are they professional mental health care providers? Because the reason I asked is that it sounded like it was a pretty comprehensive list of services that are provided. I just wondered about that, the professionals and staff.
Yes, sir. We do have the applicant here that I can call up and we can make further questions with them. So they can provide that detailed information on the two staff members that will be on site. Dr. Carroll.
Okay, is the applicant here?
Yes, good afternoon. Good evening.
Record?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Honorable members of the Planning Commission. My name is Dr. Candy Curiel, and I'm the Senior Clinical Director for Pacific Clinics in the Inland Empire. Candy, C-A-N-D-Y, last name Curiel, C-U-R-I-E-L, Senior Clinical Director. Licensed marriage family therapist, doctorate in organizational change and leadership. Relevant. I'd like to also call Mauricio up because I believe we can together answer many of the questions that you have, and we appreciate all of them. We think that you deserve the opportunity to learn as much as you can about our services and what our intent is here in the city of Eagles. First of all, I'd like to say that Pacific Clinics is a statewide nonprofit organization delivering mental health and behavioral health care and social services to over 34,000 people to advance health equity and mental well-being for people of all ages, from babies to older adults. Today, my colleague Mauricio and I stand before you to respectfully request the City Planning Commission to consider our application to open a center here at 1060 East Broadway Street in Eagles. This center, also known as a clubhouse, can offer people with mental illness opportunities to have friendships, employment, housing, and wellness, physical and emotional well-being. We do believe the vitality of residents is the cornerstone of a thriving community. We are steadfast in our vision to address the conditions that contribute to the overall health and well-being of every individual, that we serve through integrated behavioral health care and social services, which we also know as social determinants of health. We're very deeply committed to serving the residents of Needles. While we do not have a physical location, we have maximized the use of telehealth services to support Needle residents in their mental health and their substance use recovery journey. I would like to invite my colleague Mauricio to share information about the services that we provide there.
Dr. Kennedy, just one question about one of the things that you mentioned.
Yeah.
You said you help with housing. Is that not in this location elsewhere, right?
What we do is that's through our case management services. So what we do is we work with each individual to understand what their needs are. We do it from a whole person approach, a whole person care approach. And so we understand that in their journey to recovery, they may have other needs besides mental illness needs, support and mental health. And so if we determine that they may need assistance with housing, then we connect them to those resources that are local in the community so that they can receive that support as well. Because we understand that those are the vital conditions for people to be able to thrive.
But not how to this location.
No, we're not providing housing, physical housing, we're providing resources, so, connections, resources, linkage.
Just to a different program.
Yeah.
Good evening, my name is Mauricio Cruz. I work for participating at the program director one. I'm here to talk about the programs that we have. Our maternity clinics program has been a goal ratio.
Both. We must spell your
My last name is PRU.
I'm sorry.
Last name is PRUC.
I still can't, I'm having trouble hearing.
Cruz, C-R-U-Z.
Cruz,
Thank you.
we all know Cruz. And for your first name, Bruce,
Mauricio,
M-A-U-R-I-C-O.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you have to be really close.
Against.
When I read that closer, you can hear.
You can talk about it if you like, just pick it up.
You want to hold it. There you go. Hold it.
Yeah.
There you go.
The batteries are.
You get that.
Hold it one minute.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, as I said, my name is Mauricio Cruz. I work as a program director for the Club Fund program. We have different locations and different. These programs are, what we do, we assist adults recovering from mental illness who need to continue their journey in the company of caring and hurting people. Our goal is to connect our participants to services and resources available in the community. To prepare for eventual goals, and if they decide to go to school, we help them to go to school, the guidance to go to the school, and take a more active participation in the community. We also prepare them to learn and improve important social and interpersonal skills, which enable them to meet wellness and recovery goals that they have set for themselves. During the last 5 years, the Civic Clinic has assisted nearly 2,900 people with behavioral health and social services. These are duplicated figures because residents often come to us for multiple services in the past couple of years. For mental health, we have provided a number of services in our platform. Educating, for example, we provide education to people on how to get access to treatment, developing positive coping skills, creating support systems through family, friends, and others, self-care management skills, recovery support, navigating resources that access local mental health service community. And also we give assistance if they need medical assistance, we give them guidance how to obtain that. Services like provide by trained certified peer specialists, and they work closely with our clients to support them in their individualized needs. For peer specialists are those who have been experienced with mental illness and can relate to clients that are personal. We know from research that support significantly contributes for individuals recovery process. We are proud to say that our people in the community for the past 2 years in the community of Eagles. In the fiscal year 22-23, we served a total of 144 individuals, and the most within fiscal year was 23-24. That number increased to nearly 200 people with mental health services. But our work goes beyond mental health services. So in the last fiscal year, we organized 11 food distributions It should get a total of 19,326 pounds of food to 535 households and 1,236 individuals. Last year, we continued that effort, and we had 12 food distribution provided a total of 26,223 pounds of food to 578 households and 1,320 individuals. Thank you for your attention and we will to that by the information. Thank you.
Any questions?
I got a question
Here.
for Mauricio. Did I press it? Gonna get it? Yes. You'd like to make you focus on several items that you can provide teaching on. You have a list of those? Can you provide us one? Okay, there were several things that you do that you're very good at by the sound of it. Okay, and so I would like to know what you're teaching. You said skills, self-care. You said in the clubhouse, these are happening. Access to resources, such as the library, what's first.
Yeah, just to give an example, a lot of times people who suffer like challenge with mental illness, they don't know the system, they don't know the resources they can access. So coming to the clubhouse, we give them guidance for that. We have our staff who is very well known, they have the knowledge of the system and they can refer them to what they need. If they need mental health, if they have problems, because they don't know how to navigate the system to find a job. So we teach them how to navigate online and how to create resumes and how to prepare themselves for job interviews. Just to give an example, they can be very dynamic and very flexible. We have people who they have trouble because they don't even know or they're not ready how to fill out applications for it. So we give them guidance and we teach them this is how you get fill out an application, the steps that you need to do to and that process. They set the goals and we help them to reach those goals and we link them to different agencies and resources and communities so they can reach them.
Just hypothetical. You said medical services, for instance, if they had medical issues, you would maybe direct them to the hospital.
When I was referring again, if they need assistance, they need to how to be insured, or how to get paid.
Medical coverage,
Medical coverage.
not
We
the
give
actual
them
medical
guidance.
application.
We give guidance in how to obtain the needs they have. Each day have to obtain those.
So if a man calls you between 9 and 5, because you're not gonna do this after 5 o'clock, right?
Correct.
And he fell and he had an injury to his leg. If he called during the day, you would direct him however you direct him. If he called after 5 o'clock, what would happen to that call? What would happen to got this item? Are there people that check in on the answering service about answering machine or something?
I work is we have a membership form. Or we accept them as a client of the program. So people come to the program, they fill out all the documentation like they did, and they become a client. When they do that, they have that kind of question. We will try to help them as much as we can find the resources and find the anything that can help them.
So what would you do, for instance?
In that scenario, I don't think this works. In that scenario,
Gotta go through this one. Whoa, hey. Finally hear something.
We have our center where we have it open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And typically in a clubhouse program, the members come in person and receive all the support that they need, whether it's case management, whether it's mental health support groups, presentations, trainings. For example, we recently did at one of all our other centers, we provided suicide prevention training for all of them. So that not only can they help themselves, but they can help others, their peers. And so if a member were to call or a participant were to call in during our business hours, then we would provide them with the necessary support, whether it's encouraging them to call 911, if we need to contact their family members to get immediate support for them. And then we also have transportation support. So if they become part of a community, a family, and so if we need to, we would go out and see what's happening with that member because they are all local. And, you know, we would have our vehicles available for that.
Okay, so person is injured, as I mentioned, I have to go out and find. And he calls you because he has mental issues, whatever, and you're teaching him how to handle.
Yes.
So he calls you, what happens? Does he get an answering machine?
After 5 o'clock, we are not available to provide support. However, all our participants are trained. We do review safety plans with them. They each have their own individualized safety plan to address their own needs that they have. And as also, we provide them with all the information, all the local resources, whether it's at the local hospital, urgent care, crisis support, mental health crisis support, local as well as national numbers. So everyone has the support that they need, the information, the resources they need to be able to address those situations.
Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to get at, so I want to hear what you have to say, because that's a lot more than I thought you'd say. They dial 911. You train them to dial 911.
We do the most basic trainings because we want them, our goal is for all the participants to be able to feel empowered, to be self-sufficient, to be able to take care of their own needs.
So they get the sheriff's department. What happens to them then? The sheriff does, they get what the sheriff do with that person that had a fall. 8 o'clock at night. Okay, and that person was just trained to dial 911, and they get the sheriff's department. Explain what might happen in that scenario. Does the sheriff come out and to the person's house? Does he call, does the dispatcher call the hospital, call an ambulance? What happened?
Well, I would say if they need medical assistance, they call 911, they're going to dispatch an ambulance or the care, the emergency team, which is going to be the paramedics. But part of what we do in the program also, people build a community, a network around them. And this network, we help them to build this support network. So they're going to have other people who are part of the community who are going to be there to support you. Not only the center, but our goal is, as Candy said, they're going to be self-independent and they're going to be able to learn how to navigate different things, challenges they have in life. But big part of what we do is peer support. The peer support is big part is peer support, and we build this network and connection that they can have around them in the community to get assistance when they need it. So a lot of people who suffer mental illness is isolated, and that's related to depression or some other symptoms. We help them to create a network of people around them who can help.
They might be afraid to call 911.
Exactly. Some people are really afraid. They have triggers, they have bad experiences that happened in the past. So maybe better, more confident to call someone, one of my peers that I know that's giving me support during the last few months. They feel more comfortable and that person can help to get this person the assistance that the help they need. So.
Okay, on one of the slides, the one we didn't get on your background, which I'd like to get a copy of. Okay, it mentioned, I'm concerned about agencies that you might be answerable to. And I think the Department of Behavioral Health is on there. Am I mistaken? That was on the slide. Can we go back to that?
Are you referring to affiliates?
I don't know what it said. We didn't get it in the packet. It was only on there for a few seconds. I didn't even get to the second paragraph. Okay. So it's one of the slides up front. Because we didn't have it.
Which one?
No. Keep going. No, backwards. Oh. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so city clinics is covering nonprofit benefit, providing mental health throughout the state and has been contracted by the San Bernardino County Department of Behavioral Health. Okay.
For this specific contract, we also have other contracts to provide services, mental health services throughout the county of San Bernardino.
That apply to needles.
The contract that we have specific to this program is the Clubhouse and Community Support contract. That is the one that we are proposing to get your approval on to provide to open up the center here and provide the services to the adults that suffer from chronic mental illness and are in recovery.
Okay, so you have a separate contract with the department.
We have other contracts, yes. So if
We're talking about what applies to you.
correct, what we're talking about today is the contract that we have, which, give me 1 second.
Does the city have?
It's our contract that began July 1st, 2023 through June 30th of 2028. This contract gives us the approval to be able to run Clubhouse programs in 6 different locations. So
One of them being needles.
one of them being needles.
Needles.
No, one of them being in needles. And so that is why we're
We
here.
don't have that many.
No,
Not that I know. Okay, so as far as outside agencies are concerned, that's the only one you have a pre-existing contract with regarding needles.
needles is with San Bernardino County Department of Behavioral Health.
Okay, I just don't understand the. So are there other agencies that you have to report to them, I assume?
We report to San Bernardino County Department of Behavioral Health. They are our funder for this program. And so we provide them with regular reports on services, impact, as well as our financial state of the program, as well as our impact, our outcomes, the difference that we're making in the community.
Okay, do we have a copy of that contract? Have you provided it to the city manager?
I don't believe it was requested, but we are happy to provide that to you.
As a planning commissioner,
Yes,
none of the guys like me. I'm in the pot tonight. Okay. I will work with the applicant to get a copy.
yes. I also made note that you requested a copy of the lease, which we already have a signed lease with the landlord of the site and a signed application.
This little pager.
We apologize.
You
We
may
did
not
not catch it.
Okay, so outside of behavioral health, there are no other agencies that are involved with your,
No,
like your clubhouse here. And I can understand clubhouses makes it an exception to our zoning. I understand the word is very key here. Other than behavioral health.
correct. We are not subcontracting with any other organization. Our goal is only to partner with existing stakeholders here in the city to ensure that the needs of our participants are being met.
What was the adverb that you used to partner with them? Is that what you said?
Yes, to partner, to collaborate.
Yes, I'm concerned. There's a major case that came down from the United States Supreme Court. It was just 2 days ago. 114 pages, have read it, okay? And it's a major concern across the entire United States, and it involves the Chevron case, well known as the 1984 Chevron issue. And they changed the government so that agency, the legislators could delegate power to agencies. Okay, so all they're innumerable. Okay, I don't know if anybody can even count them across the United States. Supreme Court basically just said that they're unconstitutional, okay? And there are thousands and thousands just in California. So we don't know the whole outcome, what it's going to be. I talked to the city attorney right before I came here about this, John Penny. And he also, I had another legal opinion from somebody, another attorney. So I had two attorneys I spoke to in a conference call before I got here. And so that case is of concern. Everybody's aware of it. I mean, everybody. It's, it remains to be seen what's going to happen to agencies telling you what to do, okay? About what the legislators can delegate to agencies like the Department of Behavioral Health. Although that may be just an agency, it's an inherent part of our government, but that's what the Supreme Court said. The government should do their jobs, not delegated to bureaucrats, okay? So the case is lower, want to take a look at it. But I was
Thank you for that information.
yes, it's the landmark, it's gonna be a landmark, and we're basing the whole structure of the United States on that 1984 case, because all states are delegating, legislators, especially in California, could not handle all this law and all this work. So we don't know, and Mr. Pinckney, our city attorney, said the same thing, we can't tell, because they also validated another case that says it's gonna end up being case by case to see what happens. Well, we could all gone by then, okay, so that could take forever. So, right now we're in limbo about what the Supreme Court did. So when I saw this, I thought, uh-oh, what agencies are in control of you? What if you contracted with, okay? And if they pull that agency out of existence, where does that leave you?
I don't think we'd be in business because they are
behind. Right, that's my concern, major issue, okay, that's not a department that's likely to go away. Okay? We're always gonna have those issues with us, so, but that's why I asked the question, okay, because if there's some other, you get your mustard for hot dogs. That's something out there I never would have thought of, that's why I was asking. Sure there's somebody else involved here because they would be involved with the city in letting you operate there. Okay, that's why.
Yes. I did take note of some of the questions that you were asking the city planner. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to be able to answer some of them. I know one of them was about planning to add showers, Commissioner Roth, laundries, beds. Just want to confirm that that is not our intention for this center. We're not going to do that here at this location. What you saw on the floor map, that's what we're proposing. So we don't have intentions of seeking approval later on in the near future to add shower, laundry, or beds. We're not going to cook. We're not going to add a cooking facility. However, we do plan on having a refrigerator because we understand that there's some individuals that depend on the only meal that we provide for their daily needs. And so we are we don't want to modify the center. So our goal is to find creative ways that we can provide food to our members if they need that. So we're looking at frozen meals or things that are.
And part of also, big part of the program is socialization. So we want people to have that network that we were talking and to engage them and motivate them to participate in our groups and other activities that we have. So maybe we're gonna have like coffee and donuts whenever we finish the group and things like that, but we're not gonna be actually cooking or having any kitchen at the facility.
We would love for you to come.
I live right across the street, about an eighth of a mile from you. I'm going to be watching.
We would love for you to come once our center is open. Should you approve it? We are optimistic that you will. So that you can see the beautiful work, the beautiful recovery, the lives that are being changed through the services and the support that we provide. Commissioner Wright, you also asked about the level of education. And so we have two, for this program, we have two clubhouse specialists and one lead clubhouse specialist. And so all three of them are certified by the California Medi-Cal. They go through the peer certification. And they get a lot of training. They have lived experience. They once filled those shoes. And so now they're ready to pay it forward and help others in that recovery, whether it's substance use or mental health. And part of the criteria for our members is that they have to be in recovery. And so we help them continue in that journey.
Couple of questions.
I just have one geographic question, and that's about the showers on the site now. I noticed it lines up with the cable company, the back, the size of the office. There is no more space in the alley that's part of the building. You go to the back of the back wall of, in the alley of the building itself. You don't go beyond what's in that floor plan, your square footage, right?
No,
Was that question clear? Probably not.
yes, are we planning on using any additional space besides the inside?
That floor plan represents all of the square footage. It lines up right there. Yeah, that's it. Thing.
Yeah.
The cable company's right next to you, right? So I know the cable company, when I walk in, it's the front, it goes back one way, okay? Well, that same line is how long your office is.
Correct.
And there's no more, like, they have to put it in nonsense back for us. That's all there is.
That's it.
Okay.
I noticed on your application, or the application that we have, you mentioned 2 full-time employees and no part-time employees. Now, when you speak about all the services in that,
It's a 3 full-time.
it sounds like there's a lot of people involved. And now you just said that there's 3 full-time. So the application is correct with 9 employees.
On the application we received, it did state 2, so.
I apologize, I can correct that. It's 2 full-time clubhouse specialists and 1 full-time clubhouse lead. The lead is the person that will be responsible for running the activities, ensuring that the operations are running smoothly.
The other question I have is, you mentioned that the San Bernardino, the contract has a contract with you for a clubhouse. What is the definition of the clubhouse that you're in contract with San Bernardino County? We can know what that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Clubhouse is a program that it was created in 1948, sorry. And actually came from people who was receiving in mental health services, and they were in an institution. And after being in an institution, they want to create some sort of program where they feel more welcome, that they can create a network of people around them, and also a program will see the person as a whole. And that includes family, friends, socialization, any living skills they need, how to learn different things, and how they can imply that in their own lives. And actually, it was the group of clients who made out the whole concept, and actually they want to call the place Clubhouse in order to make it more friendly, kind of more warm place for people to come. They want to stay away from the institutional aspect. They don't want this to be considered as a clinic. That they want to be, everything white, and they want something more warm, something they can feel that they're getting that support as a whole person, and including all the aspects on like which is housing. If you need to learn, information on how, for some people it's confusing. How can I register for college? I need to have people to talk about the different challenges that I have. So the peer support is really important in that area because they can feel comfortable talking to others who have been suffering the same challenges in life. And they came with this whole concept of the Clubhouse, and that's what they use the Clubhouse name better than the mental health program. or something more clean. So they want this to be more approachable and more warm for people to get.
And from our contract, we have here that the definition, according to Department of Behavioral Health, is the adult mental health clubhouse program assists individuals with mental illness to function positively in their living, their work, and social environments. This involves the creation of an environment that provides social, educational, and vocational development opportunities that enables individuals to lead personal, satisfying, and socially productive lives. And, one more comment about the trained staff. All our peers, our employees, like we mentioned, they're peers. They have lived experience. They're certified through the state Medi-Cal certification. And we also have our own extensive training in the organization where we train them on crisis management, therapeutic crisis intervention. Everyone is trained in first aid, CPR. There are so many different topics that we address. So that way we are always prepared for whatever could happen. And as well as for the services to our participants, there are times when we do bring our own clinicians or other experts in certain topics to come and provide trainings, presentations. We also partner with the community and have them come and provide information on, for example, disability and the rights. What are their rights? How do they go about it? So,
Can you hold that? We're taking a 5 minutes. Right.
oh,
Thank you. With your answer, I want to ask, were you aware of their definition of clubhouse and it meets our requirements?
Yes.
As the use table describes uses that require the SUP application as social, frat clubs, frat clubs, lodges, union halls are similar uses. So that's why it was put under that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have any questions?
I did not. Thank you for the answer.
I'm still not speaking. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I asked what that.
Go ahead.
The clubhouse issue, I think, wasn't that I'm asking the city manager, wasn't that an issue in the zoning changes that we made in the city plan? Yes,
Speaking your microphone, I'm sorry, you can't hear me.
it works. You always say your place is okay. So I recall when we changed our general, when we modified the general plan, zoning, like what, 2 years, 3 years, that process. The clubhouse definition was crucial in where some of the zoning landed in order to allow the certain activities to occur. I don't recall the details, but you were right on that issue. And so we have a definition beyond what Irene just stated that applies to the zonings. They included certain activities that made it a clubhouse as opposed, I think it came up when the application was made prior here to the license location. The definition of clubhouse. And they didn't need it, or they hadn't applied to that.
And just for clarification, the address that was 92 Front Street, which was across from the Old Garces, which was not part of the Old Garces, just for the last clarification, the last project that was brought forward for this was at the Old was not at the Old Garces, was adjacent to the Old Garces. So just for
It's right across the street.
yeah, and so, the planner, city planner has gone through the zoning code and has identified that it fits within this box, which requires special use permit. Now, the next step is we look at the parcel in which is being discussed tonight. And this parcel does in fact meet the zoning requirements as long as it gets a special use permit approval from the planning commission. So that's why in front of you tonight, we have this in front of you. So, regards to the discussion of the planning, the general plan update, I don't recall that conversation. I know, antenna is for a big part of that discussion, but other than, clubs, that was part of it. So the discussion you're talking about was the Elks Lodge, which was in a residential zone, and that was, so, but that was not part of the general plan update. That was, so social clubs, or this section of the code was not part of the discussion of the update. It might have been, but it was not adopted.
I believe I'm referring to the one right over here on Front Street. Okay. There were certain activities that they were going to engage in, and somebody was arguing whether or not it fit the definition of clubhouse in order to make it acceptable or not acceptable. I don't recall the argument, but it didn't. And I think that that's important here. Irene's nodding her head, so she can get it.
Correct. Aside just from the word clubhouse, I did look at the uses, the resources, the type of activity that would take place at the establishment, regardless of just the name of it. So I did take that into consideration, and which I made my determination on the exact uses, what they're proposing, resources that will be provided, and anything on site. So all that was taken into consideration.
So you, in order to call it a clubhouse.
Correct.
Okay, to me, clubhouse means they can't put showers and kitchens and all that.
So that was the intent of the, again,
The one on Front Street.
the condition of approval revision, just to make sure that the applicant was clear, in which they did confirm today that those kind of resources will not be provided on site. And we are making the board plan that was submitted as part of the approval package. So anything not described to us previously or any change to the floor plan will require them to present that to planning, for.
I understand that, but they're contracted with the county, with an agency. And you're discussing the issue about clubhouses, right? Mr. Cruz is, okay? So, and you have the definition of clubhouse. My question was simply, does that conflict with our own definition of what constitutes a clubhouse?
No.
Okay, that's all I asked. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll open the public. Yes, that's it, so I'm open up the public hearing. Anybody want to, comment?
I do.
Come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, my name is Ann McGrath, my address is 202 Walnut Street in Needles. And I don't pretend to understand small town politics, so I'm not even gonna address anything on that level. But I do want to say that I think it's very exciting that this town is considering bringing in a fine organization to offer a day program where people can learn life skills. I've been intimately involved with the Vietnam Veterans of San Diego, the Brother Venos Association in Oceanside, the Friendship Center in Laguna Beach, and the Santa Barbara Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. And I can understand sometimes why cities don't want to have like everything right in their town, but it's not like that. It's a life skills program where people come in and they learn about resources in other areas. And they help the people in their local community to bridge the gap between struggling and not struggling. And when you have an organization that's run as well as this one here, it can, you get all the wrinkles worked out over time with whatever happened in the past, and you bring in somebody that can really take local people with a fresh start and give them some budgeting skills, some educational opportunities, some housing resources out of the area, because housing is limited in Needles. And I think you like it like that. And I understand that. I like it too. But there's so many resources available with sister programs in different counties and cities. And the lack of information available to people when they're stuck in a difficult spot is what the main crux of the problem is. And with all of the organizations that they are linked up with, people can go get information to move back to where their families are, or to where there's jobs or schooling. And I think it's exciting that that's opening and on the table here in this area. And I look forward to be a positive part of that growth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No. Yeah, close the public hearing.
Someone else.
Hello. My name is Cheryl Carl. I'm a resident here in Needles. I live at 1600 Lily Hill Drive. I'm a client of behavioral health, and I am really looking forward to the opportunities that this presents to the city. I've lived several places throughout my life, and I finally landed here in Needles, and I found my new niche. And I really like it here. Behavioral health and all that they write for me. In the talk of the clubhouse, it will be a definite asset to the community. Where people with issues can go and get comfortable with speaking to other people. I myself, I like, I'm a homebody. I don't like to go out and be social. Is, well, where is there to be social? Go bar. No, I don't like to drink. And I don't like to feel pressure to drink. So anyways, I'm very honored to be here in front of you, and I think I've said about all of you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Peter Tovar from 321 Chestnut. I suffer from schizophrenia, and that's somebody who this organization wants to help. And I feel that we talked about it, it's a clubhouse, but it's not the clubhouse, it's just called Clubhouse. I feel that it benefit people like me Oh, you want to hear me? I don't like hearing myself. It's weird. Okay. No, that's it. I think it'll be a benefit to the community, and it'll definitely benefit me in talking to people like you in better ways, in communicating better. I don't know. It's what the goal is. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What did you say you suffered from?
Schizophrenia.
Oh,
It adds things, takes things away from you, so it works.
thank you.
Any other public comments? Okay, close public hearing.
Just real quick, Mr. Chair, I'd like to add something. So earlier this year, at the end of last year, the city of Needles took a hit when we had one of our major behavioral health clinics shut down. So when the Center for Change shut down, the city council leaned on me a little bit to go and find other avenues to help provide services that have been lacking as a result of the closure for Center for Change, also known as MHA's term. But basically, support groups such as grief, domestic violence, substance use, and recovery have been major concerns of the council. And the members of this community have let our community, council members know about it. So really what I'm trying to say is the city council aims to build a vibrant community that's connected to all of our residents. And that was something that was adopted through the last set of goals that the council just adopted just recently. But by supporting the community, by enhanced amenities that will provide for all its members, because you never know when you're going to need help. And so by being able to reach out to an organization that will provide you with that opportunity of help, regardless of what affluency you have and what level of education. Once you're 18 years old, you're able to go to their center and get some help. And really by creating a dedicated service to help assist our residents is really meaningful. And not only that, we've got 3 more jobs that we get to add to our ticker here in our community. And so at the end of the day, with workshops and case management and transportation and medical appointments and job interviews, really helps add value to our community. In addition, it's in a location which hasn't been talked about tonight. It's right next San Bernardino County right next to San Bernardino County building. And so they'll be able to work with each other in the event where, somebody's house burns down and they need a support services we get that every day, unfortunately. And, when I get the call, and I don't have enough resources to help provide the resident that needs those resources. I'm sending folks over to the other side of the river, to be honest. There's other, and which is unfortunate. And really, if we got somebody that is willing to step in, and I appreciate their willingness to do it a second time, usually you don't get a second chance with an organization that wants to be part of your community. And so I appreciate their efforts in wanting to do that. And this is a great location. It's going to help serve our residents. And basically it's supported by the city staff, and therefore we recommend approval of this project.
This discussion or?
I'd like to say one thing. When this issue came up before, I don't remember it being the same. It was. And it was when it came up to be across the street from El Garson's. It was a concern of mine, even though I recognize the need for the program. And I think it's also can be a real valuable asset to the community. The issue that I had was that I'm concerned about, I was really concerned about preserving what downtown Needles looks like to visitors and our tourists. And I, at the time, I just didn't think it was the best place to put this kind of service. So it's not that I'm against it at all. I'm just sort of defending why I didn't want it across the street. I really have hopes of really trying to enhance tourism in this area, and we kind of designated this area as our historical block. It's important to me that we also maintain that. So that's the thing, you have to provide needed services to the community, but I'm also concerned about preserving the town and our identity.
That's about it.
First off, I totally agree with Mike, and I think if it was not a matter of services, us turning the last down, it was the location. And we have a lot of activities, had a lot of activities and issues of homelessness and whatever else we have going on. Every time I came down there, I had an issue with law enforcement, more than one. So the people from the museum, I think the thrift store, I'm not sure, testified as witnesses to what they see every day. So it had to do with location, not the activity itself, the services, except trying to get the showers and the clocks and everything else in there. They were gonna have them all within there. Okay? So anyway, so this is a great location as far as I'm concerned. And it will, I think it will get the job done, but I think a lot of thought has gone into this. I didn't realize that it would be difficult to apply again with the idea of a different location. Like, well, we even discussed it at great length, different locations, like by the hospital, other buildings. We had asked, I think Mr. Daniels had asked to try a couple of buildings up by the hospital, and they hadn't. So we were looking to have the activity come here with the activities that you involve yourselves in to help people, just not there, not here, Bill Garces. And I would only, if I don't know how we're going to vote yet, but if we do affirm, I would like to make it conditional upon receiving the permit, the application permit. Make it premature, I'll be in discussion.
No, go ahead.
Okay, then, you know, I was, I don't know if it was a comment.
Just trying to.
Commissioner Rea, Dr. Hutchinson.
Assist you with any documentation that you would like to see. I can give you a call tomorrow and we can discuss everything on my list and then anything in addition, and I will be happy to provide that information for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We approved a resolution, adopting a resolution approving a special use permit for a new 1,200 square foot social support center located at 1060 East Broadway Street, APN 018622209, pursuant to a categorical exemption in accordance with SEQA guidelines section 15332. With the understanding that this will be additional upon receipt of the application permit signed by the applicant legal representative. And I believe there was a change on how many employees were on the application form, which Pacific does not have an opportunity to fill out yet. So they can make whatever corrections they need to, subject to your approval, that they're towards what Sasha said.
Good. Second? I'll second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Thank you for bringing this to us, and we hope you are very successful.
I'll try to kind of babysit some of the comments.
Okay, we have a motion for the approval of minutes for July 10th, 2024. Second.
I'll second.
Okay, all fair side. Aye. Commission requests. Johnston.
Aye.
Weird. What we got in here? The other minute review.
Yeah, just briefly. So, we haven't met in a while, but I'll keep it limited to the last few managers reports. I hope you're getting these monthly, or weekly actually, but, basically we've had a really good, economist report this last time around. Michael Bracken, our economic development, consultant, came out and just highlighted some of the great things that are happening, here in Eagles. 4.5% increase in the city's population in the last 10 years. Growth in educational attainment, 4.4% for high school degrees and 38% for bachelor's degrees. The median household income's gone up 34% in the last 10 years. 31% increase in median home value in the last 10 years. And just to give you an idea of the type of development that's occurred, you've seen a lot of these come in front of you. But the Dollar General, $45 million cannabis industry, $8 million in park improvements, $16 million in water infrastructure, over 25 electric vehicle charging stations, and a new Hampton Inn. And so really the city's seen tremendous growth, and we're just very fortunate to be a part of it. We're going to continue the efforts of the planning commission and the city council to help reach their goals of helping improve the quality of lives for our residents every day. Also, I don't know if you read about it, but the LA Times said that we have dethroned Phoenix. So in the month of July, we averaged 103.2 degrees. Despite our heat, our community stays cool with local events, tourism, and refreshing Colorado River. So join us for some fun in the sun. And so basically, I was called by city managers, some of my friends all over the United States, actually, that were just giving me, some kudos for that.
Yes.
But I said, look, I had nothing to do, to be honest. I mean, we had nothing to do with the heat of the city, but still, it's nice when someone's reading the LA Times and they flip open and, oh, wow, needles. It's like, yes, needles. So the city of Needles is committed to enhancing its aging street infrastructure with the 15-year pavement management plan. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be having a ribbon cutting for the next set of streets, phase 4A. We're really excited about that. Basically, it's another $2.2 million that's going to be put into our aging infrastructure. Phase 4A was in the maps, but we received a grant from our congressperson that takes care of the rest of up by the high school. We're going to be doing some of the streets down here in the older part of town. We're going to finish up in that area. So we're just really excited about being able to talk about the pavement management plan. I know it's taken some time to get that through, but I was working with Kathy Roush, and I'm going to I'll get it out to you, this manager's report, but basically it shows a map of all the streets that we've done. And it's amazing because we highlighted it in red and colors and all this stuff, and you'll see it's really remarkable when you look at it on a map. I know it's, some of our streets haven't been done, but still at the end of the day, there are streets that are getting done. And it's pretty remarkable the efforts that have taken place to get that done. Schools back in session. Next week, actually, the sheriff's department is doing a backpack and school supply drive. So if you want to take anything that you want to donate, drop it off to the sheriff's department by next week. Basically, Misty Hunt can assist you with that. Also, our rec programs are back in school. August 14th is the first day of our programs where we help with homework, STEM activities, physical education. Of course, you gotta have snacks. And so we're gonna be providing that to our residents, so it's really excited about that. We continue to provide educational activities to our staff, specifically with 80 hours of commercial driver's license training. So I know all of us want our streets swept by the street sweeper. The deal is we've only got 2 licensed to be able to do that. Now we've got a team of 14 that are going to get licensed, so we're really excited about that. Rainey Torrance and Jesse Fergoso have really spearheaded that to be able to get our folks trained up so that we'll have more able bodies being able to help clean up the streets and improve the quality of lives for our residents. Because that's what we strive to do every day. So with that, that wraps up my manager report. Again, reach out to me if you need anything. Please don't hesitate. My door's always open. And if I don't see you, have a good rest of your summer.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.